Personally, I'm not thinking that love it's about presents or you have to show something. Maybe it's only enough with a smile, with a kiss.
From where I come from Curacao, that's in the Caribbean. We as Caribbean people, we kiss a lot, we hug a lot, we hold hands, we do a lot of romantic stuff. And yes, that's us from the Caribbean.
In Korea, for most of the couples, they usually hold hands together in the street, and sometimes in the subway they also like hug, or sometimes they kiss, but usually like other people don't like to say them kissing.
Well, Brazilian people are very, very friendly. So most of the time when you meet the person for the first time, you always give 2 kisses or 1 kiss depending on the region. And well, people tend to be very, very open-minded, and there's no such a thing as just giving hands or only if you're doing business, but most of the time people are very, very open, and since I come from a low contact culture, people are really open and happy, and yes.
So how you come from?
Hi, I'm Dutch. I'm coming from The Hague. I have to say that I'm very happy to have had the opportunities to have relationships with people who were not Dutch.
And what was the nationality of your girlfriend?
Her nationality was Spanish, so the differences were not that big. However, in certain moments you would say things which are very accepted here in the Netherlands, or a very, very direct thing to say, and then for her that might come over as offensive, but because you are so in love with each other, if you have a clear form of communication, then that problem can be resolved by just talking about it. Hey, listen, this is not what I'm used to hear, or this is not what I like to hear. And then because you love the other person, you're more than happy to change the things you say and adapt to the person who you think you want to be with.
She was from Lithuania.
Lithuania? Okay. Was the language barrier difficult to overcome?
In the beginning, yeah. She has been in Germany only for like 3 years, so her German wasn't perfect. She had to look for words from time to time, but it was also fun to help her, like improve on the language and everything. It was not the language that was the problem. Usually, it was more like the behavior, because it's just different. Like I think a lot of the Eastern women. I don't know. I'm not going to generalize, but I think they're more. Sometimes they could be harsh. Like if she gets pissed, she gets really pissed, and if she doesn't like someone, she shows it. And I'm more a person who's like. Try to be nice to everyone, and she's a little more on the harsh side, so sometimes it was a little bit difficult. And well, just to know when she's pissed could be different than I was used to, because she just didn't tell me. I know German women are the same a little bit. They don't tell, they're just quiet, but she did it like for a long time, and I'm like, oh, okay. It was a little bit different.
Was that the biggest communication problem you guys had?
Pretty much, yeah. To know, read her how she acted, to know is she pissed or does she I don't know how to say. Is it just that she doesn't care about something if she doesn't say anything? It was a little bit different because yeah, I was never sure. But of course, after 1.5 years, a year, around that time, you knew it. But it took some time to get used to it.
What did you learn from your experience regarding intercultural relationships?
I think the most important thing is that you probably need a lot of time if you want to really be sure, because first, usually, if you're with a partner from the same culture, you get to know each other really good, really fast. But from different culture, then especially different countries, because of the differences, it stays interesting very long. And till you get to know someone really good, it takes way longer than with someone from the same cultural background.
Where is your or was your significant other from?
I was for Senegal.
Was the cultural barrier difficult to overcome?
At some points, yes, because it was like every young people in the world like wanted to chill, wanted to have parties and listen music, being informed about politics. But the thing was, which was very interesting, is that because he had an African point of view about like Occidental world, so he had a very different way of seeing the world as I did, and but in mainly part like that it wasn't a lot of problem, but sometimes where it was about religion, it was really Muslim, so when we were talking about religion, there was a lot of we weren't agree about something, and that was the only barrier I think we could have.
Was that the biggest communication problem and like cultural barrier that you guys had to overcome?
Religion, like the point of view about that, and yeah, I think that's the most important. And yes, he had a kind of way of life, very how can I say that, like living the day, see the day, like
Yeah.
something like that. Like you live for your day,
Live
for
in the
your day,
moment.
and don't think about what will be after. At first, it was nice, to live like that, but after a time, it's not a good thing.
What did you learn from your relationship about intercultural relationships?
It wasn't really something about intercultural relationship. It was more about myself, like there was it was like a very a real community, him and his friends. So we were like living all together. It's like an African community. The African tradition. It's like to don't exist as an individual, but as a group. And what I learned is that maybe sometimes groups like that can bring you up, like make you do the best of you, and sometimes not, and that gets you in a really bad situation. And that's what I learned, that not always trust the group, and maybe keep my individualist part. And I missed so much my own culture because I was like invaded by their cultures, and I wasn't able to share mine. It was not a
Not a
give
fair-
and give relation.
yeah.
So I think that's the most thing I learned about it.
Do you have any other like funny or challenging stories about like a miscommunication?
Yeah, like every time I was praying or watching things about religion, it was like if I interrupted him, he was like really mad, really mad, like stop, why do you do that? And I don't get why, because for me religion is not very important. So that's one of the. But after, yeah, there were all the the moments we spent in a community. They were like very nice moments. So I think that's it.